Maybe you are buying the wrong bikes. Maybe you are buying the right bikes but for the wrong reasons. Or just maybe you are spending a lot of money to buy bikes of which you should have spent cheaper to buy better bikes. Welcome back to Two Wheels Paradise. My name is Meshak Samson Miner, and today in my hands is one of those bikes I have been talking about. You remember the video about the perfect commuter bikes? Yes, now in my hands is one of those bikes I was talking about. Look how beautiful it is. This is Lifan KPT 200, or you can still call it Skygo KPT 200. They are the same thing, made by the same person. Look at this. Yes, it is one of those bikes I was talking about when I said you need to spend the right amount of money buying the right bike if your agenda is to get a daily commuter bike. Welcome back to the channel. Let's look at this bike and see how much this Chinese brand is offering. Let's get into the specifications of this bike, the Lifan KPT 200, and see what the manufacturer is promising. And then later on we are going to counter check with what we have on the ground to see if what they are promising is actually what they are offering. To start with, it is a single cylinder, a vertical single cylinder, which is actually liquid cooled. Did you hear that? This is not just one of your Chinese single cylinders, the crappy bikes that we have around. This is a liquid cooled motorcycle, single cylinder, 200cc. And to make it even better, this bike is not carbureted. This bike is fuel injected. It is an EFI bike. You don't have things to do with carburetor jetting. Yeah, it is one of those bikes that you just fuel and go. You just service and go. You don't have those issues of, I don't know, my carburetor did this, my carb did this. You don't have those things. There is a liquid cooled single cylinder 198cc, which promises to give around 19.8 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. That is quite high. Yeah, it's a bike that doesn't have a lot of power, but it has enough power to move you around. It has around 17 Newton meters of torque, which comes at around 7,500 RPM, which is also a little bit high RPM, meaning at low RPM you can commute on this bike in slow traffic without chances of you knocking vehicles from behind. Doesn't have a lot of power to scare you. Good. Now this engine, this is so nice. It has 6 gears, not 5 but 6 gears, meaning at gear 6 the bike is supposed to be very smooth, because this gear 6 is not for speed. This is a gear to make your bike very smooth. Of course, the crash is just the normal crash, the wet multiplate. It is electric start, doesn't have a kickstart. And in terms of body size, the bike is not so big. Yeah, not so big. It has around 158 kgs according to the manufacturer. 158 kgs is not a lot. You see, now that's the radiator. Yeah, that's the radiator now, and it is well covered. Right from the factory, the radiator is covered. Coming to the fuel tank, it doesn't have a lot of capacity. It gives around 13 liters of fuel, but I'll tell you why this one is more than enough. 13 liters in a bike that consumes around 35 to 38 kilometers per liter. That is a lot of fuel. A lot of fuel. You see, to the rear, you also have disc brakes. Yeah, the tire to the rear is 130/70 by rim size 17, which is quite good for commuter, because you're not doing a lot of corners. You don't need big tires for you to hit corners. And this bike has a monoshock to the rear. You don't have issues of double shocks. You know how uncomfortable it is when you ride a bike with double shocks to the rear. Something else is the seat is not single. Yeah, the pillion seat and the rider seat are different, and this bike comes with a lot of metal racks for you to mount top boxes. And actually, right from the dealership, this bike comes with top box and side panniers. You see, it comes with side panniers. The owner of this one has removed the plastic boxes and replaced with a single aluminium top box, but this bike comes from the shop straight with 3 boxes. Yeah, 3 boxes. 3 boxes for you to carry stuff on top and also other stuff to the side. It is a bike you can tour with. To make it even better, this is a bike you can take for long rides. I have friends who have done serious long rides, including the one who owns this one. There is a bike which is good for long distance riding. The tires are tubeless. You don't have issues of tube. And you also come with it also comes with alloy rims. The rims are not spoke, they are alloy, which tells you, do not lie to yourself that this is an ADV. It is not an ADV. This is a touring bike. Don't go to the jungles and try to jump over locks and crossing rivers because you have a motorcycle that looks like an adventure bike. Yeah, it is not. This one is a touring bike. The headlight is LED and also has a very nice dashboard. See, this dashboard has a lot of information. To start with, it has the speed, the RPMs, it has the fuel gauge, it has a clock, it has a gear indicator. You see, everything that you need to know when you're riding. The time, what time is it? How long have I been riding? Which gear am I riding on? Yeah, you see, those things, very important. And this dashboard has. Look at the headlight. This headlight is seriously bright. Seriously bright. It's a very seriously bright headlight, which can give you a lot of light when you're traveling and it gets to darkness. But now I can't promise you that you're only going to use the headlight. Most of the times we find ourselves adding auxiliary lights because of preferences, and this bike will also accommodate that one. You see the indicators are so nice. This bike is not complicated. It is just a basic bike. Only that it comes with fuel injection and it has liquid cooled engine. In terms of speed, this bike is not a speed demon. You do not expect to get to seriously high speed, but at least you can get to 110 to 120. Depending on the weight of the rider, you can expect to get to a maximum of around 120. Nothing much. A lot of stuff in this bike are basic, but they are not cheaply built. This is a bike that has a history of being reliable, because I have a couple of people who own them. These bikes are reliable. It comes with center stud, as you can see, and this mud guard. Yeah, you see, very important. It protects your bike from getting muddy when you're riding in the rain, some muddy places. Doesn't splash a lot of mud all over the bike. Why? Because it is a commuter bike. You don't want to go to your office and then you're looking like you're coming from the farm. Yeah, just because you did a ride through a 5-kilometer stretch that had some water, or some 100 meters stretch that was muddy. You don't want to go to the office and you're looking dirty. Commuter bikes have to have those accessories to protect you from getting dirty. Yeah, you see the exhaust is very basic, which actually has a very nice sound. Although it is just a single cylinder, you don't expect a lot of sounds from single cylinder. See, they're just basic. There's nothing much you can expect from here. But this one is nice. The bike is quite small in size. To tell you the truth, it is quite small in size. But that one is good for commuting. Very good for commuting. You see? Very good for commuting. You see? The weight I was talking about? Yes, 158. When you shake the bike, it just moves. Not a very heavy bike. And since it has a monoshock, the bike behaves properly. Yeah, the suspension, when you ride it, you can feel this is a street suspension. You see? That is the amount of travel you have in the front shocks. Quite small. Yeah, this is not a bike you can go and jump over rocks with. You see? That is just a few millimeters, which tells you this is not a bike you can take to very rough places. Yeah, but of course, if you are going to the village, you expect to get straight home. Riding the bike feels okay. The bike has good gear shifting, not so hard, not so smooth. But I think they should have made it even easier, because at some point you may feel like the gear shifting becomes harder. Although now it depends on how long have the bike been running after the previous service. Yeah, the oil quality is also a determinant in the gear shifting. It takes corners properly. I took a ride on it, and you can feel, yeah, when you take corners, it is a safe bike. You know, there are some bikes you try to take corners and you can tell there is a high chance you can go wide into the guardrails or into the rivers. This one is not one of them. And actually, that rear suspension makes the bike feel so smooth when you're taking corners. Riding it even on rough surface, it's just nice. You can tell this is a bike you can ride the whole day and you're just going to be fine. You don't expect a lot of speed from here. When you're overtaking, just prepare yourself and just be ready, because if someone with a bigger vehicle decides they don't want to be overtaken by a bike, they will just accelerate and they are going to leave you stranded. So some of these small cc bikes, you have to be very careful when you are accelerating to overtake someone. You have to be very, very sure that this person is not ready for some racing. Yeah, because if they decide to lock you up, trust me, they can lock you up. Before we move on, let me tell you who is sponsoring today's video, and here we are talking about ODEC Consultants. These are registered KRA tax agents, a premier accounting and tax firm located in Nairobi, whose sole business is to serve and help SMEs to grow and develop, as well as expand their businesses by making sure they are compliant with everything taxation. These people are good and they are registered by KRA to help you learn your KRA stuff and make sure that you are compliant without having a risk of your business being punished because of issues of tax evasion, other taxation, and so much more. The services these guys are offering include the annual statutory audit, monthly accounting and financial statements, monthly VAT, PAYE, NSSF and HIF, and rental income returns, individual and company tax returns, as well as tax compliance certificates and tax planning. You don't want to do a lot of business and then 2 years later you get those weird looking double cabins at your gate just because they have suspected you have been avoiding taxes. But maybe you are not even avoiding taxes, it's only that you did not consult professionals to get to know what you are supposed to do. ODEC consultants are there to help you do these things smoothly and professionally, just to help you grow your business. You can talk to these people through the number 0722 876162, or you can send them an email at cedric.kimeu@gmail.com or odecconsultants@gmail.com. Just get your KRA things in order. You don't want to risk having those people coming to you just because of errors in taxation. Moving on with KPT 200. There's a bike that has a dealership locally. You can buy it 0 mileage, brand new, and I believe you don't need more than 300,000 to get this bike home. The price is 300 or thereabout, and you can take this bike home brand new. Do you own a KPT, or maybe think you know someone who owns it, and maybe there is something I missed in my walk around and quick review? Talk to me in the comment, and thank you so much for those people who have subscribed to the channel. We are growing very fast. Your feedback is helping me do more and better stuff. Thank you so much. And those who have not subscribed, please hit those buttons. Let's get this biking community grow. Let's get information out there. You never know, maybe one day you might learn something from me. Hit those buttons, become a member, and help me do more and more. Thank you so much, and stay safe. Remember, your safety on a motorcycle depends on what you do, not what others do. So if someone provokes you, the way you react is what determines how safe you're going to be. God bless you and keep you. Meet you next time.